everybody, how's it going? It's Neil from SkillTrainer.com. Today I'm going to show you a couple different ways to play a G chord to a C chord. Add some variety to your rhythm playing. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, so the G to C progression is one of the most popular in the world, probably. In the history of music, actually. I'm just saying that. I don't really know. But it's in a ton of songs. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to spice it up. So if you're jamming with somebody or you're writing a song and you don't just want to keep playing this over and over again. Took a little love and some tenderness. Isn't that Hootie and the Blowfish? Yeah. Say you're playing Hootie and the Blowfish and you want to mix it up a little. What you can do is use different voicings. Voicings are just different ways to mix up the notes of a chord, to get a different effect and to play it in a different spot. Like, for example, a G chord is only 3 notes, really. It's G, B, and D. And then in the typical G chord that everybody knows, you got G, B, D, then you get another G, then you get a B, and then you get another G. So it's almost like the game Boggle here, or whatever. I don't know if you have that where you are, but if you took a G, a B, and a D, and you mixed them up and you throw them down, like dice, I guess, it would always be a G chord, no matter what. So you have B, D, G, that's a G chord. D, G, B, G chord. If you had G, B, B, D, G, B, G, G, B, G, D, that's a G chord. So I'll show you a couple different ways to play. Enough talky. So we got a G chord right here. This is one that everybody knows, your open G chord. Or you can double up on the bottom, and what you're doing is just adding another D in there instead of a B. And then you got your open C chord. The 3 notes that make up a C chord are C, E, and G. And again, you mix them up any way you like, it's still a C chord. Alright, so that's the one most people know. Now the second variation are bar chords. Right, so there you got G, D, G, B, D, G. And if you have trouble playing bar chords, one thing to think about, like I know you want to have straight across here and then you want these 3. You want to kind of angle your finger. Don't try to play with your finger straight like this. Angle it like that. It's a little easier. Because for a couple reasons, that sets you up to play these strings, which you'd also just play on the edge of your finger. So you're almost playing on the edge of that fingernail, that point, rather than straight on like this. That's not comfortable, and like that requires you to push so much harder with this finger, and you can push here and there, but in the middle it kind of gets a little wonky. But doing it this way on the edge, your finger really doesn't bend that way, and it automatically has a bow to it, which pushes those middle notes down harder. So there's a quick tip for playing bar chords. This one you're kind of stuck because you have to play these. I've seen people play like this. That's the traditional way, or with the ring finger, with the pinky. That's how I prefer to do it. You can't really get that bottom note easily that way, but I never seem to miss it. I'll miss playing it, but I won't miss the sound of it. Alright, so there's the second variation. You got bar chords. Now the third variation, we're going to jump up here a little higher. And what we're going to do is base our G off of this G right here, which is on the 8th fret on the B string. And we're going to add this D, and then we're going to add this B right here, and then on the bottom of the chord, the top of the shape, we're going to add a G. And And that's on the 10th fret on the A string. So you got maybe a little out of tune, but that's all right. We're not going to let it stop us. All right. And then when you're doing these, you know, you could jump way back down here and play a C. But traditionally, you know, you might want to find a voicing for C that's up here. And what we have right here on the 8th fret is the C bar chord. You know, the same as this one, just now moved up, so the root note is on C. But when you're playing different voicings, since these notes in the G chord all appear on the 4 middle strings, if you play the full bar chord, that has all that bass in it. You know, it's jarring to hear, you know. So if you can keep it so that all on those 4 strings, it's a much smoother transition. So you got. So these are all the same, but instead of barring, I'm just playing that one note down here on the B string on the 8th fret. So someone that uses these type of chords a lot, and it pops into my head, is a lot of Red Hot Chili Pepper guitarists. They have some cool voices, but they're always mostly just triads, different voicings, and little, you know, little fiddly things in between and stuff like that. So I can't think of any right now. All right, so that's the 3rd variation. The 4th variation is going to start on this bar chord, same as the C down here, but now we're going to move it to the G note here on the A string. Use the root there. And we're going to do that same chord we did here. We're going to move it up. So when you're doing this chord, you want to look here and here for your root note. Now that may look strange, but if you think about it, where the 12th fret is the same as your open frets, as your open notes, all this really is the same as, it's your C chord that you already know. So we've just moved that up and barred off the back of it. Pretty neat. Now if you add a note to the bottom string, there's your D major shape, but because it's here, it's a C major. So that's kind of in line with the whole caged system. So if that seems interesting to you, you should check out caged system. Google it and you'll find some good stuff. And there's I have a page on my site about it too. So if you search scaletrader.com, you'll find, you know, a little overview of the cage system. All right, and then one more chord you can do here is the G up here, like the bar chord, right? But just doing the 4 middle notes. Blends with that one nice, and then now I didn't talk about this one yet. This is one of my favorite chords. It's basically this C major bar chord. But remember how I said you could mix it up anyway? So instead of putting a C in the bass, you have 3 notes you can choose from, C, E, and G. I like to put the E in the bass. So that's a cool sound. It sounds great with the little overdrive on your amp. Just that sound of the minor third there. Nice and warm. All right. So I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. All right, so there's a couple different ways you can play a G chord to a C chord. So hopefully you have fun with that. Spice up your rhythm playing. And that's Neil from ScaleTrainer.com saying thanks for watching. Talk to you later.